Well, first today, the UN's nuclear watchdog has said Iran has enough enriched uranium to create a nuclear bomb in 3 to 4 weeks. This comes at a time when the 2015 nuclear deal between Iran and world powers remains very much in tatters. The 2015 deal capped the purity to which Iran was allowed to enrich uranium at 3.67%. Uranium enriched to roughly 90% is considered weapons grade. Iran has currently enriched uranium up to 60%, which is close to weapons grade. According to a senior diplomat, Iran can now produce 25 kilograms of uranium at 90% if they want to. This means it would take Iran roughly 3 to 4 weeks to produce enough material for a bomb. Iran has denied any intention to do so. Meanwhile, indirect talks between Iran and the United States continues to take small halting steps towards reviving the deal. One stumbling block in those talks, though, has been Iran's continued failure to explain the origin of uranium particles found at 3 undeclared sites. Iran has demanded that the IAEA's investigation into the issue be scrapped. The UN nuclear watchdog said it could not guarantee the peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program. The 2015 nuclear accord was broken when former US President Donald Trump withdrew it in 2018 and reimposed crippling economic sanctions on Iran. In return, Tehran began abandoning the deal's limits on its nuclear program, including on its enriched uranium stockpile. The IAEA says the stockpile is now an estimated 3,940 kilograms, over 19 times the limit set out in the accord. Iran has dismissed the report, saying it was a rehash for political purposes of baseless issues from the past. Now, for more on this, we're being joined by Dr. Paul Dorfman, live from Paris, an Associate Fellow at University of Sussex. Just tell us to begin with how much of a significant statement this really is from the UN.
It's important. It's important that the IAEA has eyes on the enrichment capacity of Iran, and it's important that Iran so far has not allowed that to happen. There are various explanations for that. It could be that this enrichment is a bargaining chip. It could be that it's a tacit admission that there is a route towards the weaponization of its nuclear capacity. So, in sum, it's a worrying situation.
And then just finally on this, on the 2015 deal, how important is it that it really a deal like this stays intact for, the safety of the world, I guess?
Basically, an arms race in the Middle East is an own goal. When one thinks about proxy wars between, say, US, China, Russia, one doesn't imagine a mass exchange. One imagines an exchange elsewhere, so that Iran is, to a certain extent, playing with fire. And it has to be said that so far, Iran hasn't broken any international treaties. It is allowed to enrich up to 60, perhaps even more, as long as the IAEA have eyes on that, as long as the IAEA can see what's going on and where this uranium is going to. So in strict legal terms, there's no contravention of international law yet. And it could be that part of this discussion is basically the problem of cultures talking to each other and accepting that each has a right and a duty to protect its land.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Paul Dorfman. That was Dr. Paul Dorfman live from Paris.